Alright, welcome to the next video where we'll cover Figma keyboard shortcuts, and we'll dive into Figma plugins and go look at GUI kits as well. Alright, so let's go head over to the keyboard shortcuts. So I'm in the design file that you have here, and I created a page here called Quick Keys here. So go ahead, go over to Quick Keys. And I've typed up a list of my favorite keyboard shortcuts here. These are the ones that I use most common, and I'll go through them with you here right now. So the first set that I use a lot are tools on the left and commands on the right. So for tools, I use V a lot to get to the selection tool. The selection tool allows me to select elements and things on the board. So let's say I'm in the rectangle tool here and I want to quickly get over to a selection tool. I just press V and now I'm back over at the selection tool. I use P to go into the pen tool. So P on my keyboard takes me quickly to the pen tool. I can make a selection or draw a shape like I'm doing right now. And then if I want to select this shape, I can press V and now I'm back over to the selection tool and I can move this shape around. I use Z a lot to get to the zoom tool. So press Z, get to the zoom tool, click and drag, and I've zoomed in to the area that I clicked and dragged. I use the R for the rectangle tool a lot. So just press R, and now I can create a rectangle here. Again, I can press V, start to select it, and O for the circle tool. And if I hold shift when I do a circle, it will give me a perfect circle. If I go without shift, it will make ovals for me. And you can see once I create the oval or the circle or the rectangle, it automatically jumps to the selection tool here. L for the line tool. This allows me to create lines. You can see when I hold shift, it gives you straight lines. When you don't hold shift, it allows you to do any line that you would like. And so there's the line there. Let's delete that. Spacebar for the hand tool, that allows you to move around the artboard space easy. And then I for the eyedropper tool, which allows you to select colors. So let's say I have this rectangle and I want to easily go grab this pink color here. I just press I on the keyboard. You'll see it opens up a little circle here that allows you to see the color that you're selecting. And I'll go and select, say, this pink here, and watch my rectangle. It turns pink. So pretty simple tools there, and shortcuts to get to those tools. The next ones I want to talk about here are the commands. So to zoom in, you can do a command plus, and then zooms in. And then to zoom out, you can do the command minus. So I'm zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in. So a lot of time I'm using those commands with the combination of Z for the pen tool. So I'll zoom in, select the space that I want. If I'm too far in, I'll zoom out or I'll zoom in again. And then I'll use the space bar for the hand tool to move around. All right, so the next one we have here is for text options. So you can see I have this text here, 1, 2, and 3. When I do Command Shift greater than, that's going to upsize the text. And if I do Command Shift smaller than, that's going to downsize the text. So I'll select the 1, 2, 3 text here, and I'll go Command Shift less than, and you can see it goes smaller. So I'm downsizing the text. And if I do Command Shift greater than, then it's going to go upsize the text. So you can see the text is getting bigger now. The next thing I do in conjunction with the Command Shift greater than, less than to make text big is I'll also use Option Shift greater than and less than to decrease the line height or increase the line height. So you can see now the line height is kind of squished. I have overlapping words. So while I still have this selected, I'm going to shift from the Shift command and go to Option Shift. So I went from Command Shift greater than, less than, and now I'm going to go to Option Shift, and you can see what happens here is I'm increasing the line height by doing Option Shift greater than, and then I'm decreasing it by doing Option Shift less than. So one more time. To decrease the font size, I'm selecting it and I'm doing Command Shift less than, and I'm decreasing the font size. And then to increase the line height, I'm going to go over to Option Shift while the text is still selected, and I'm going to go Option Shift less than to decrease the line height and greater than to increase it. So these four here take a little bit of practice doing it, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes very natural. Okay, the next thing I want to show is the command for moving layers on top of each other, called bringing forward, or below each other, which is called bringing backwards. So these two commands here. So let's say I have these two rectangles here, and this is for any layer, any shape, any text, any graphic element that you're using in Figma. If I want to bring this rectangle underneath the black rectangle underneath the pink rectangle, all I have to do is select the black rectangle, do Command Option, and I can go down arrow to bring backwards, and you can see it goes below the rectangle. And if I want to bring it above the rectangle again, I'll just use Command Option up arrow. So you can see how that works. I can also do these with more than one shape. So if I hold Shift and I select both of these rectangles, I can also move those up and down. So let's say I want to bring it below the text here, and I can bring them back up if I want to. So pretty much about 80% to 90% of the tool usage in Figma, you'll be able to have these sets of quick key commands, and that will cover most of the tool usage that you'll use. And I've also left them here in this document. So if you come over to the document here and you see the quick keys, you'll have these here. Another way to view the quick keys in Figma is if you go to the little question mark here on the bottom where it says Help and Resources, and you click on that, and then you go to quick keyboard shortcuts here. Just go ahead and click on that. And then here's all your keyboard shortcuts or quick keys here. And you can see for tools, here's all the ones for the tools. Here's all the ones for viewing. You have zoom, you have text shortcuts, shapes, selections, cursors, edits, transforms, arranging, and component shortcuts there. So if you just want to go under the hood and see what kind of shortcuts Figma provides for you, you can go here by clicking on the bottom right question mark and go into the keyboard shortcuts like so. Another way to see keyboard shortcuts is whenever you're in a tool, let's say I want to look at the rectangle tool or the line tool or the ellipse tool, it provides shortcuts to the right here. So there's shortcuts to your frame and your slice tool, selection tool, and it also does the same here if you go into the menus. So I can select an object and I can see all the quick keys here on the right. So bring to front, bring to backwards, lock a layer here, and same for editing. Undo Command Z, redo Command Shift Z, cut Command X, copy Command C, paste Command V, paste over selection, Command Shift V. So you can also view the keyboards in multiple ways. You can see it by the question mark, and you can also go into the menus here and the tools and see the shortcuts as you go along. All right, cool. So that covers the keyboards. Let's go look at some of the plugins now. So I created another page here in the Figma file that you have. And this one's called Favorite Plugins. And these are my 4 top favorite plugins that you can find in Figma. So to go find plugins and to go look at plugins, just go over to the top left here, go over to your dashboard. Just click on the 4 boxes here in the top left. Takes you to the dashboard. This is where you have the ability to search projects here. You can see your recent projects. You have your drafts, and then you have your plugins here. So these are all your plugins here. And my top favorite 4 plugins here are called Content Reel, Spell Checker, Unsplash, and Map Sickle. So you can see there's some popular ones here. These are pretty popular, these first 2, the Unsplash, the Content Reel. You can also search plugins. So just go browse all plugins, and you can type in, say, Mapsicle here, and you can see the one here. You can also type in spell checker, and you can see the spell checker here. They're pretty easy to install. So let's just go say I want to install this spell checker. All you got to do is click on spell checker. You can see where it's installed. I can uninstall it and then click back on it again, and I've installed it into the application. Pretty simple stuff. It's fun to just go around and just browse all of the plugins that Figma provides you. There's tons of them. They're pretty cool. Let's go look at some of my favorites here, and I'll show you how to use a plugin. So let's go back to the file here. Just click on your Figma class file. I'm in the plugin page here. Let's go look at content reel. So a lot of these plugins, you'll want to select an element. So let's go ahead and grab and make a rectangle here. And on the top in the menu bar here, you have plugins. You go ahead and click on plugins, and these are the ones that you have installed. So in this case, let's go look at content reel. So I click on content reel, and it's opening up that plugin. And what this does is it provides me different types of content that I need. So I'm going to put a text box here. And it gives me text, avatars, and icons. So if I click this text and I want names, it gives me random versions of names. It'll give me random phone numbers. It'll give me addresses that I need. It'll give me dates and times. It will fill with Laura Ipsum if you want, just default text, random generated emails, and random generated URLs as well. I can also click on this rectangle shape here, go to avatars, and this will give me automatically different photos of people. So I just want males, say females here. I can do both male and female. It's just a random selection of photos. So it makes it easy if I'm doing a whole bunch of different team boards where I need different photos of people, or social media where I can see I have a lot of people and photos to populate in my designs. This makes it really easy to do that. Next thing, it also has some icons. You have to install a font to use the icons. I don't really use the icons that much. Again, I use the noun project here I showed you earlier, where if you want any, say, a profile icon, just go to noun project. You can download it like I showed you in the past video and drag the scalable vector graphic into your Figma file, and you can use that. All right, another cool plugin that I find really valuable is Unsplash. So if you go to Unsplash, this is just free photos that you can use. So it goes beyond just photos of people here. So let's select this square, and I can just insert random photos. It will just give me any random. That's a really beautiful photo there. But it also gives me some presets here. I can have animals, architecture. And if I just click again on architecture, it gives me more architectural options. Same with nature, gives me nature as well. And it'll populate any shape. So let's say I want a circle here, and I do portrait, give me a portrait view here, or space. And I can also search stuff. Let's say I want like a tiger. And there's some photos of some tigers here, pretty cool. All right, so that's Unsplash, just a quick way to get free access to many different types of photos as well. You can also go to unsplash.com, and they have a library of photos that you can download. All right, the next one is spell checker. So just go ahead and select any typography or paragraphs or written content. Go to your plugin and just click on the spell checker there, and it will automatically spell check anything that you have. So let's go back over to quick keys here, select all this, go do spell checker. And now it's loading. It's telling me that eyedropper is misspelled or has incorrect spacing on it. So pretty neat. Has 7 errors here. It's talking about eyedropper tool. Let's go select the commands. It'll probably give me some errors here too as well. Yep, it's showing some errors. Let's say I misspelled this word. Let's say command. and I do spell check. Well, I guess that's a word, but yeah, best case too when you do spell, if you want spell checking, is use Grammarly. You can copy and paste this into an email and have Grammarly check it as well. All right, cool. The next thing to check on is Mapsicle. So Mapsicles are pretty cool. One of my favorite plugins here. So again, just start with the shape. I'm gonna clear out this here. Make a rectangle, like a large one. And this is for anything that you want map related. So if you want to get away from the normal styling of a Google map and you want to have a more of a like a dark theme or a light theme map, you can come here to Mapsicle, click on Open Mapsicle, and it gives you different styles here. So let me move this a little bit over to the left. So let's say this is a street style, it's more graphic. You can do outdoor style here. You can do a light style, which I like. A dark theme. It gives you satellite. Gives you satellite plus streets here. I like the dark theme personally a lot. I go to dark theme. You can create other width. You can zoom out. I can get the whole world here if I wanted. Let's just do United States. Or maybe California. And I can do different widths here. So let's say 1,000 by 1,000 if I wanted. And I press create map. It's going to give me a screenshot of that design. Inside the shape here. I'm going to get one with lots of streets and little lines. That'd be hard to create. Let's say San Francisco here. And you can see now I have San Francisco generated within this shape. It's an image, so if I go to my fill image here, I have the image here. I can come in and crop this image if I want to by pressing the crop at the top. And that's Mapsicle. So those are my 4 favorite plugins. I'll leave these here for you, and you could use those and plug them in. And you can find your plugins here. Another way to go to your plugins is if you just click on the plugins at the top, go to Manage Plugins. It will take you back to that page that we just visited. All right, and the last thing is to go look at how to download GUI kits. So a GUI kit is the word GUI, G-U-I, means graphical user interface, and Figma has a whole bunch of them for you to use. So if you go to a Google search, I have one here for you, and you just Google search download Figma GUI kits. My favorite one is this download 49 free. It's the uistore.com. If you click on this one, it will take you to a link here. And this has a whole bunch. It lets you know in green buttons here which ones are for Figma. They have them for Sketch and Vision, other design tools. And let's say you want this Coinbase web dashboard here. And this is all free. You just come in, press free download. It will download in the bottom left here. And let's go ahead and open that. When you open that folder, it gives you PNGs of these designs here. You can see. And it has a dark theme and a light theme. And it also gives you this Figma file. So if you want to install that Figma file, do the same thing that we did in the very beginning, where you downloaded the Figma file that I provided, and you dragged and dropped it into your draft space here. So I'll show you. So what you'll do here is just grab this file and just click and drag it into Figma like so, and it will import this file. And you can go ahead. I'm going to cancel it because I already have it downloaded. Okay, cool. Another thing that you can do, you can also drag and drop sketch files the same way into Figma, and it will pull in your sketch files with all the designs ready to go. It won't keep the prototype stitching that you've done in Sketch, but it will translate all of the designs you've done in Sketch into Figma here. So let's go in the Coinbase web dashboard. That was the one we just downloaded. And you can see I have the light themes here, and I have the GUI kits. So I can come into all of these. I can select the graphic elements within this GUI kit, and I can change them up a little bit. It's a good starting point if you're looking to start for basic design. In this case, having a dashboard for Coinbase, and it has both the light versions and it has the dark versions here as well, like you can see. There's tons of GUI kits here that you could go download online and check out and play with, but that's how you do it here, and they show up on your dashboard here, like I have on the web-based Coinbase web dashboard here you just saw. Okay, cool. So that's a rundown of pretty much how to do keyboard shortcuts and how to use Figma plugins and download GUI kits. And in the last video, we'll see how to create comments, and we'll have some final thoughts and going forward. All right, see you in the last video. Take care.